Exploration, combat, and tribes of evil monkeys. What more could you want in a video game? Hello friends, it's Kodiak here, one half of the team behind Legion Gaming, and today we'll dive headfirst into Donkey Crew's brand new survival MMO, Last Oasis. Last Oasis has been quietly humming along for years with a small team of passionate developers working tirelessly to create a completely new survival experience. Livid and myself had the opportunity to spend a few days in the Oasis before the floodgates open, and let me tell you straight up, this game is onto something. Now, just for some context, I don't have a background in survival games. I don't have hundreds of hours clocked in Rust. DayZ scares the living bejesus out of me, and as many of you know, survival Minecraft just really isn't my thing. So then why was I immediately hooked on Last Oasis? Well, for starters, the game feels great. Movement is fluid and responsive, but still maintains that semblance of realism that makes survival games more enjoyable. On top of that, the team has carefully created a guided experience that helps players with little to no survival game history figure out Last Oasis. It's not complex and by no means disrupts the overall gameplay experience. It's just a string of simple quests that can help players navigate some of the more unique aspects of the game. Starting out, you'll do what you do in most survival games: harvest resources, craft some essential items, and explore. And all of it felt incredibly satisfying. Simple things like the number of times it takes to harvest a tree are spot on, and that adds to the overall effect of the game. What was the biggest change for me was the melee combat system, which requires you to input directional commands for attacks and blocks. It took a few tries, but eventually the system becomes second nature and is actually rather easy to master. You'll have plenty of time to practice against the Rupu, a primitive species you'll encounter multiple times throughout your explorations. Once you get the hang of the basics, you'll build your first walker, and this is the special sauce that ties Last Oasis together. Harvest trees, sure, that's fine. Craft some fibers, great. But build your first massive walker, and now we're talking. We've only just scratched the surface of the walkers in the game, but these contraptions are what makes getting around each map tile so incredibly fun, especially once you build your first communal walker. Livid, myself, and another member of our community, BVG, built our first massive walker and spent a solid hour traveling around the Oasis, collecting valuable resources, and planning out our next set of upgrades. This is the core of the game, working together to create something spectacular. Last Oasis features an incredibly easy to navigate clan system, and after just a few clicks, our squad was visible on each other's maps, and soon enough, we were rolling together in the game. Last Oasis isn't just about collecting and crafting, although you could get by doing just that if you wanted to. Any chance we got, we fought other nomads out in the wastelands. It was a great opportunity to test out the game's PvP system, which is brutally realistic. Get killed and get looted. Of course, there are some respawn systems in place to make the gameplay a little bit more palatable, but overall, it's a dog-eat-dog world, which is why traveling in a pack is so valuable. Now, the game has its fair share of issues. Let's not pretend it's all sunshine and rainbows. First and foremost, it's the highly touted grappling hook system, which is just not there yet. It's clunky, cumbersome, and just isn't quite developed enough. It's a great idea, a way for players to climb onto their massive walkers or navigate the world, but it's frustrating and completely disrupts your rhythm. Of course, some players will master the grappling hook in all of its janky glory, but it's definitely something the team needs to take a look at. Additionally, there are some AI issues. As we mentioned before, you'll be fighting the Rupu quite a bit when you're out exploring each tile, and if they're getting stuck on random objects or just tenaciously tracking down one of your party mates, it becomes less fun and a bit sad. I don't expect these AI to be anything special. The game's not really about fighting these PvE creatures, but it's some of the simple stuff that needs to get ironed out before the official launch. Now, another area of the game that just doesn't quite make the mark is the respawning. You're gonna die, it's inevitable, but the strange options and random tooltips don't make the experience any easier. In our squad alone, we had a tough time figuring out how the system worked. I understand that the team is trying to give players options, but it may be too much to understand, and I'm still not convinced it's all working as intended. A quick trip back to the drawing board to flesh out some of the rough edges would do the developers well. The last thing they want is a player to get frustrated with the respawn system, force quit the game, and never fire it back up. Finally, let's just come out with it. There are some polish issues, but that's what early access is for. The game still needs to be looked over with a fine-tooth comb. Animations can be a bit janky, and overall the game just feels a little rough. It's hard to put a point on the issue, but if you watch any gameplay videos out there or pick up the game for yourself, you'll see what I mean. We're fairly confident this will be addressed during early access, but still worth pointing out. So with about 5 hours under our belts, it's pretty clear that Last Oasis is on to something big. For someone that's never been quite interested in survival games, it's rather addicting, and I personally can't wait to log back on and keep working on our walkers. What remains to be seen is how much more depth is in the game. We've barely scratched the surface in terms of the game's progression and research systems, and haven't even had a chance to visit a trading outpost or experience the game on a macro level. What I will say is that Livid and myself will be playing this game for the foreseeable future, and we need all the help we can get. So if you're interested in Last Oasis and want to join the Legion Army, make sure to join us on Discord and reach out. We're always looking for new people to join our channel, and with a game like Last Oasis, we'll need everyone we can get. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more Last Oasis videos in your feed, and remember folks, my name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legion Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.